There are three stages we experience after we die. The first stage is the separation from the physical body. Our soul and the body are connected by something called the silver cord. It's like a light chain. At the moment of death, that connection naturally breaks. The consciousness leaves the body starts to decompose and returns to the earth. Because our bodies are made from the elements of this planet.
At first, people might feel like they have no body, but soon they'll get used to existing in their astral body, which is the more subtle and energetic form. For a short time, your consciousness can continue projecting the same reality you experienced before death. And that's why people who die suddenly sometimes don't even realize they've passed away. Because what they're experiencing looks and feels just like the world they were living in. But that doesn't last. At some point, they'll become aware they've died.
What you experience after death is deeply connected with the beliefs you had while you were alive. Your beliefs exist in a consciousness, and even after the body is gone, your consciousness keeps projecting reality through those beliefs, and that doesn't change just because you're no longer in a body.
So everyone's after-death experience is different. It depends entirely on what they believed in life. For example, someone who strongly believes they'll go to hell because of the wrongs they did might actually experience a hell-like place, not because hell really exists, but because their belief creates that experience. If someone believes they'll go to heaven, they'll likely experience that too. Some religious groups constantly feed you specific visions of what happens after death, like meeting a certain god or divine figure. If you internalize that, your consciousness can project that exact experience.
And this applies to out-of-body or near-death experiences too. If someone says, I went to this place, I saw that, in a near-death experience, those scenes were likely projected by their own consciousness. Others won't necessarily experience the same thing when they die.
And that is the first stage. The second stage is a very important transition. Here's where your spirit guide team comes in. If you had a strong connection with them while you were alive, they might show up right away after you die. In this second phase, you focus on healing, resting, and doing what's called a life review. Everyone needs a different amount of time to rest and heal. If your life was full of pain and trauma, you might need longer. But remember, in a spirit realm, there's no such thing as time like we understand it in physical life. During this phase, your guides or healing angels will help you with energy healing to mend emotional wounds. If you're open to it, they might also offer you spiritual teachings to support your growth. Then comes the life review. During this, your consciousness reviews your life in a fully immersive, holographic way. That means you don't just watch a highlight reel. You re-experience your life from inside those moments. You feel what you felt, and even more powerfully, you feel what others felt because of your actions. If you hurt someone, you experience that pain from their perspective.
But this isn't punishment or judgment. It is a chance for you to deeply understand the impact of your choices. For example, if you were abusive, you'd relive the pain you caused from the perspective of your partner or your child.
After the review, you and your guides work together to reflect on this lifetime. Did you fully explore your potential? Did you take responsibility for your choices and actions? And so on. Every soul has a guide team, and every incarnation is a great collaborative effort. You're never alone. Even if you had no friends in life, there will be a whole team welcoming you after death. Then comes the third stage, planning your next life. You might come back to Earth or go to another planet. Wherever you go next will match the density of your consciousness, your frequency. Right now, humans live in what's called the third density. If you've evolved beyond that, you might go to a higher density planet. If you're still resonating with this density, you may return to Earth or other third density planets in the universe. Some souls choose to stay in a spirit realm for a while to support loved ones still living, and then plan their next life together when everyone has crossed over.
It's important to know that reincarnation isn't forced. It is a choice that the soul makes out of a deep desire to grow and evolve. So don't get too hung up on the idea of whether this is your last life or not. The soul's journey is infinite. Even if you complete your earth lessons, your soul will continue evolving in other densities and realities.
The idea of a final life only exists in our illusion of linear time. Soul growth moves in spirals. It has no fixed end. Reincarnation plans are always adapting based on your soul's needs. It's not some pre-written script. If you become obsessed with this being your last life, you can actually block your growth. Many people think, if I finish this life, I'll finally be free. But there's no need to be freed in the first place. You were never truly trapped. You're always free, whether you're alive or in a spirit realm. You may think your body is what's trapping you, but it's not. It's just the vehicle you chose to experience the physical world, and you actually designed it yourself before you got here. Your vehicle cannot trap you, just like a car or a train does not trap you when you travel. The only thing that can truly trap you is your own mind. Do we become more wise or more spiritually gifted after death?
Unfortunately, not automatically. People often ask, will my higher self just download all this spiritual knowledge into me after I die? Well, that depends. It depends on whether you're ready, whether your heart is open to receiving it. If someone was arrogant and closed-minded in life, they'll likely be that way in death too. The higher self won't just force knowledge onto them. Instead, they might design a future life centered around learning humility.
So whether we're alive or not, it's important to stay curious and humble. When you're ready, the right teacher will appear to guide you towards your next stage of growth. Do souls who commit suicide get punished? No, they don't. There's no punishment and no bad karma for suicide.
Any teachings that says otherwise is based on fears, not truth. If you lost someone to suicide and you've heard harsh things said about them, please let those thoughts go. And instead, send them love and blessings. They can receive it. And your love will help their soul heal and move forward.
Suicide is a misuse of the soul's free will. But the death experience and the stages after it are basically the same as normal death. The only difference is it may take longer to adjust afterward. Souls who take their own lives usually carry strong beliefs of hopelessness and isolation. Those beliefs follow them after death, surrounding them like walls and cutting them off from support. Even when spirit guides try to approach, they may block them out. And since time does not exist the same way after death, those souls might stay in that isolated state for what could seem like centuries. But they do eventually come out of it. No soul ever truly gives up on itself.
If suicide was caused by deep despair or mental illness, the soul will be taken into a kind of spiritual recovery program. There they'll be supported until they're ready to plan their next life.
That said, the soul is always responsible for its own choices. Suicide ends a life path prematurely, so the lessons it was avoiding will come back in future lifetimes, sometimes even more intensely. So it's better to face those lessons now, in this life. And remember, the soul never chooses challenges it cannot handle. No matter how hard things feel right now, you can get through it. Otherwise, your soul wouldn't have put it in your path. Trust that the universe is always supporting you. There is no punishment for suicide, but that does not mean it's the best choice. If you've ever had suicidal thoughts, let me share this with you. You are a sacred adventurer. Feeling lost does not diminish your eternal worth. Reach out, even in darkness. Any light you find is never by chance. Give yourself a deep, loving hug. You are a brave soul. Let's take a deep breath, reset, and move forward. Thanks for watching. I'm Linny. See you next time.